Hello, congratulations and welcome to this mini video series called Ignite Your Inner Healer. I'm really excited that you're here. My name is Neil Cannon and I wrote a best-selling book called The Vitality Secret: Defy Disease, Combat Common Illnesses and Stay Young. And I'm a huge believer that your body's ability to heal without drugs is greater than Western medicine has ever allowed you to believe. Why am I so confident in saying this? I have found that there is an inflammatory root cause to every common illness and chronic disease. And when we find out what it is, or what they might be, we can all take it upon ourselves to heal our own bodies. Here's why I believe this to be true, or rather know this to be true. You see, I have overcome my own personal struggle with eczema for the best part of 30 years. I suffered from it from a very, very young age and was always given these symptom tackling treatments, which meant it always came back. And also, more recently, I witnessed my father suffer a stroke unnecessarily. Several years ago, coming from a nutrition and fitness background already, I decided to go on a bit of a mission to find out why my father suffered a stroke. I was convinced it didn't have to happen. I was convinced it was avoidable. And I remember him being diagnosed with this root cause many years prior to his stroke. Little did I know that during my little quest I went on to prove that it was avoidable, I discovered that the same root cause that was behind not only his stroke, but also his asthma and his high blood pressure, which ultimately led to a stroke, was also the same root cause behind my eczema, from which I had suffered for the best part of 30 years. 3 decades. That's a lot of years of unnecessary suffering, and I'd really like for you not to experience the same thing, whether it be eczema or any other common illness. Which brings me on to the next point. What is so interesting about what I found out is that it's the root cause of just about every common illness, every chronic disease, and even accelerated aging. It's even been dubbed inflammaging because of this. So what is this cause? What is this condition I'm talking about? It's called chronic inflammation. So what is chronic inflammation? In its simplest form, well, there's two different types actually. There's acute inflammation and there's chronic or systemic. Systemic, it is when it's happening throughout your body, and that's the one I'm focusing on now. In simple terms, it is your immune system trying to protect you. Something enters your body that your immune system doesn't recognize, and it goes into a state of defense. It's a very healthy immune response. The challenge comes when this happens again and again and again. That might be from what we're consuming or what we're exposed to in the environment. It might be from being inactive, so we're not letting the toxins leave the body through the lymphatic system. Or it might be through our emotions, like chronic stress, for example, is a typical trigger for chronic inflammation. This is what leads to all kinds of symptoms which your body will present to you depending on your genetic code. For me, my genetic code meant my body produced a symptom called eczema. For someone else, it might be asthma. For someone else, it might be IBS. For someone else, it might be arthritis, pre-diabetes, type 2 diabetes. So I was able to get rid of my own eczema by making a few tweaks to what I was doing physically, mentally, and emotionally. Interestingly, I was able to apply the same principles to help other people reverse not only their eczema, but all sorts of other conditions. Conditions including, but not limited to, eczema, psoriasis, IBS, prediabetes, type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, arthritis, gout, low testosterone in men, low energy, brain fog, obesity, even Parkinson's disease or symptoms in one case. That was a spectacular fluke, helping someone reverse her type 2 diabetes the holistic way. The only way, if you really want to heal your body from the inside out and not just mask symptoms with drugs. Sadly, this is the standard of care for most common illnesses and chronic diseases. They are masking symptoms. If we think of a symptom as really like a messenger from the body to indicate change is needed, we can think of these symptoms as almost like a gift. It's like, hey Neil, whatever you're doing isn't working, whatever your name is, whatever you're doing isn't working, time to make a few shifts, physically, mentally, and emotionally. Sometimes it might just be a few things in the diet. Other times it might mean adjusting your movement routine. Another time it might be rethinking stress, for example. There's lots of different ways to approach this. So our standard of care masks these symptoms. It allows you to survive, not thrive. And that is what I'm really excited to be sharing with you in this course, because I want to help you bring back vitality into your life and more energy, more vibrancy, and ignite your inner healer. In video 1 of Ignite Your Inner Healer, we're going to look at immunity. By the way, I've entitled this I Ignite, and each letter stands for the name of the module. I stands for immunity and inflammation. Inflammation is really about your immune system and your immune system's reaction to anything that it may perceive as an attack on your body. Video 2 is called inspiration. So this is really about getting inspired, getting so clear on a vision of who you want to become, so crystal clear on this vision, so you become inspired to take action, to bring it into fruition. This is beyond motivation. This is inspiration. Motivation is kind of when you want to kick yourself into action, or someone else has to kick yourself into action. This is about inspiration, to be inspired by something bigger and greater than you, and to get so aligned with it that you bring it into fruition. Because after video 1, you're going to understand that your body is designed to heal itself. It really is that simple. The body is constantly trying to heal itself, constantly trying to get into a state of balance. And once you understand this, the next course of action is just to get clear on why you want to make it happen, and 2, the strategy. So that's video 2. Number 3, G, is gut health. Inflammation normally takes place in the gut and also in the mouth, but for the most part, it starts in the gut. 70 to 80% of the immune system is located in and around the gut. So we're going to be looking into the gut health, what it truly means to have good gut health, what it takes to feed these billions of bacteria, the microbiome located in your gut. So then we have N for nutrition, which is nutrition meaning nutrients. It's not about stuff that we put into our bodies to make us full or give us a happy high. This is about feeding the body at the cellular level. We are 50 trillion cells. Every single one of those cells requires feeding. They require oxygen, water, nutrients, and the ability to eliminate waste. This is number 3, which is nutrients, so important. In our typical modern Western world, we are stuffing our faces and we are starving. We are obese and we are starving. We are diabetic and we are starving. The point is, we are consuming stuff which is not food. So this is really about understanding what fuels the body at the cellular level. And you'll be amazed at how fast you can change your thinking, your energy, how fast brain fog goes, how much physical vibrancy you have about you when you just make a quick switch between stuff and food. So that's nutrition. Then we have the third eye, which is not the third eye in there, which is in the pineal gland, which, by the way, is when things get really exciting, and this is featured in the advanced program. This eye is about immune health and immune support, and how you can really create healing in your body by creating for yourself a really relaxed environment in the body to allow your body to do what it's designed to do. Scientifically proven. We know that chronic stress actually dampens the immune system. We know that chronic stress triggers all these stress hormones and a pharmacy of chemicals in the body which are, let's just say, anti-healing. Whereas when you're in a calm and relaxed state, the opposite happens. Healing chemicals and hormones are secreted in the body in our pharmacy of chemicals that we have actually inside our body. Very interesting stuff. Then we have T for thoughts, beliefs, feelings, and emotions. This is when we're really stepping up into the mind-body connection. In the previous I, we've looked at immune health and what it takes to keep the body in a really calm state as much as we can, even in stressful environments. This next one is really about the technology of how to do that. We now know, scientifically, how our thoughts trigger an emotional response. The emotional response, we know, triggers an immune response. This is when things get really interesting, because our thoughts, our beliefs, our feelings and emotions have more power over the health of our cells than you would ever care to realize. It's really quite phenomenal, and this is scientifically proven. Earlier, I mentioned how we have to support the 4 fuels for our cells. Our cells also have a governing body, that is our brain. We can quite literally change the health of our cells by changing how we think, because our thoughts affect our emotions, and our emotions affect the health of our immune system and every single cell in our body. And finally, day 7 is E, which is eliminate and energize. In this section, you're going to discover why it's so important to be active to allow your lymphatic system to work. Your lymphatic system is like the waste disposal part of your immune system. It is designed to get rid of all the dead waste, dead products, dead toxins, chemicals, all these things that don't serve the body in healing. And you're going to learn how to really stimulate the lymphatic system, because it actually requires movement for it to work effectively. And we can't outsource exercise, I'm afraid. It's just it's one of those things that we must do. So why don't we enjoy doing it? Find something that we love to do. So movement becomes fun, it becomes enjoyable, and you just feel incredible from it. By the way, it's called energize because imagine what happens when we get rid of all these toxins which are building up inside the body. It frees up energy in the body, allowing you to think more clearly. It allows the body to clean out. It's just phenomenal. So that's why it's called eliminate and energize. So I'm really excited to have you here. Hit the link below for the first video, day 1, which is all about immunity and inflammation, which is the root cause of almost every common illness, every chronic disease, and accelerated aging. Hit the link below this video, and I'll see you in the next video.